Hey beautiful, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Holly Lenora, aka Holly Jolly, or you could just call me Holly. It's whatevs. Today's video, we are doing something that I thought was just like a really good idea. Let me show you my routine to look flawless in front of the camera. You don't have to worry about any form of, the things that you get your pictures back and you're like, oh, I didn't even think that was gonna show up. Harsh lines, flashback from your setting powder, nothing. No, follow this routine. I got you. You're going to look flawless and fabulous in those family photos, selfies, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. Okay, whatevs. So get ready, take notes, follow along with me. We're gonna do a bomb makeup routine and it is beginner friendly. If you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe. Join my beauty YouTube family, all things happy, all things positive and jolly, and I hope you enjoy this video. Just to disclaim, this is not what I'm saying you should use every single day. This is what you should use for camera things, for in front of the camera. So the primer and all that stuff, it may not be fit for your skin type, but to look good in front of the camera, I would highly suggest you use these for that event, if that makes any sense. Okay, let's get into this. Look what I did. Freaking burnt myself with a curling iron. Rookie mistake. Okay, so first things first, of course, we have a very, very clean and washed face. And what we're gonna do is we are going to put primer on. I'm gonna go in with the Tarte Smoothing Primer. I've really been loving this. It is on the expensive side of primers. So really good alternatives would be the Master Prime from Maybelline. This is a blurring and smoothing primer, as well as Wet n Wild's newest Impossible Primer, which is also very much blurring and gives you that filter effect. This one is silicone free. Both of these do a really good job at just smoothing the face and blurring things over and making it look like you have a slight filter on your face. So I'm gonna go right in with a little bit of this. I'm gonna press it in as I buff it out. And that's really important to remember, to press it in as you're pushing it out, especially in your most porous areas. And for me, it's all around here, which isn't bad, I'm not complaining, but that is where I'm the most porous from what I can see. And so I just like to press it in so you can fill in those spots. And anywhere where you have like fine lines, I'm like really pressing it in on my forehead. It just gives that just a smooth, kind of soft veil look on your face. It's amazing. Primer, check. First step, easy as pie. Easy as can be. Next thing we're gonna do, I'm definitely going to color correct a little bit, mostly because I'm tired, not because I feel like you have to. If you think your primer, your blurring primer has done enough to make you have one even looking base, you're good to go. So I'm gonna go in with the Sephora Collection Bright Future Color Corrector. It's just got a nice, simple doe foot applicator. And I'm gonna go under my eyes, where I feel like I just look really tired. I'm also going to put a little bit around my mouth. And there. I'm going to take just a little buffer, not brush, but beauty sponge, and I'm just gonna buff it out. All the while I'm still pressing it into my skin, and everything I do, I'm bringing it up. Definitely getting the nooks and crannies around my nose. This is gonna help give us an even base to start with, and putting it under your eyes, it's gonna help us look more awake, more refreshed, kind of give us more shape to our face as well without doing all the concealing and contouring just yet. It just gives us a really good kind of head start on that flawless looking base. It's a weird process. Yes, I'm well aware. Like right now, I look so crazy. It's okay though. For foundation. Now is the time. We are gonna go in with, and I've mentioned this before in one of my videos, I've got two solid favorite foundations for in front of the camera. You're gonna look great, don't even have to worry about it. These foundations have your back. The NARS Soft Matte and the Too Faced Born This Way Undetectable. This is a medium to full coverage, very much buildable, and this one is just a solid full coverage. Anyway, these two are solid, wonderful foundations that never let me down. I'm gonna go in with the NARS today, and we're gonna take a damp beauty blender. And I'm just going to start with the center of my face. Once again, pressing it in, making sure we cover every single square inch. I'm not using a brush today because that is going to thin it out. Even though it is full coverage, it will thin out the foundation more than you think. And if you're trying to look flawless for those pictures, you just don't even try to thin it out. Any noise you hear, that's the cat. That's Sim Sim. Don't forget to pull it down onto your neck and décolletage, of course. Now you can see everything starting to blend together really, really nicely, and it looks super smooth. And honestly, I would say this is the part where you're gonna spend the most time focusing on everything being even, everything being blended out evenly. You don't have any faded spots from your foundation. See, like right around here, it looks more faded. Here is more solid, and this, it kind of fades out. So I'm gonna go over this a little more. My antlers. And don't worry, I am going to cover that up, just not quite yet. Don't forget your little ears, your little elf ears. Anywhere where you have fine lines, spend that extra few seconds and just be sure to push that foundation into those lines, into those little nooks and crannies, right around your nostrils, smile lines, forehead lines, underneath your eyes. Push it into it. With your beauty blender, of course. Do you see how smooth that looks? Telling you. And it really doesn't even take that much time. Like I said, the longest part is this. Making sure you've got every single nook and cranny that you possibly can. Even going kind of into your hairline. Boy, that would be the worst. Get your holiday pictures back. And you've got like this halo, a glow around you. Okay, so I am going to cover that up. I know I'm looking at it and I'm like, no, you need to cover that up. But I don't want to do that on camera because I don't want to show how to cover up bruises or scarring. I just don't feel, I don't want to show that on camera. So I will cover that up just off camera. Okay, so as you can see, we have a very non-dimensional chalkboard looking face, but it is flawless looking. You can see it looks smooth and it looks blurred, but let's add some dimension, and we're going to do that by first going in with some concealer. This is one of my favorites this year. Good job, Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is super hydrating, super creamy. I love it. I am obsessed. I have the shades number 6 and number 5. This is their Magic Touch Concealer. A really good alternative is going to be the Wet n Wild Incognito. This does oxidize just a little bit, but it stays put. It blends like a dream, and it's hydrating as well, and it's like $4. Go Wet n Wild. This is a really, really good alternative. I love it. Just beware because it does oxidize. So I'm going to go in with number 6 with the Magic Touch Concealer because it is a touch warmer. Anytime you go in with a cooler concealer over top of a warmer foundation, it's going to really stand out, especially in front of a camera. So we're gonna go in with this guy right here. This is a nice big doe foot applicator, and I'm not gonna go in with a whole lot because a little goes a long way with this stuff. So I'm just gonna go right here under my eyes, and I'm also gonna go with the side of my eyes and pull it up. And with my T-zone here, and again doing this, we're just brightening the center of the face, creating dimension. Forehead, and even pull up here. So in front of that camera, we can have a very lifted looking face. I'm gonna go in with the same Beauty Blender. I'm gonna take the tip of it and start with the first spot that I put on my face. Pressing into the skin. And you can see that nice, soft, brightening effect that it leaves. But it's not too bright. It's certainly not like a blinding white. Don't want that. And you want to look up to make sure that you are not enhancing your creases, that you are just putting it in your creases and making sure everything looks smooth underneath those eyes. Don't know what kind of eyeshadow you're planning for that day, but you can always move your concealer onto your lids and it makes a great eyeshadow primer. It will hold your eyeshadow there for hours. Okay, so next thing, what we're gonna do, since we have our concealer on, mine typically creases very quickly underneath my eyes, right in those fine lines. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a setting powder. This is from Hourglass. This is their translucent powder, and it's a veil over your skin, I am telling you. So I'm gonna go in with this. It is so finely milled. It is a beautiful, I mean, it's more milled than flour. It's fabulous. So I'm gonna go in with that same Beauty Blender and just put it right underneath my eyes where they crease the quickest. And I'm just gonna press it in. So it will set and I don't have to worry about it creasing. That's all I'm gonna do with this setting powder at the moment. Boom. Now we don't have to worry about our under eyes creasing. If your under eyes don't crease, and maybe say your smile lines do, put your setting powder there. On your forehead, wherever you crease the most, find your most veil-like blurring setting powder that you have. Another good one is from Huda Beauty. This one is in the shade Banana Bread, and it's the Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. That's a fabulous one. Revlon has a really good finely milled setting powder. I love that one as well. That's a really good drugstore alternative. Great. Go ahead and set where you crease the quickest. Next, what we are going to do is add a little shape to the face. Let's go in with a little bit of bronzer. And here's where, it doesn't get tricky, but it just gets a little different, I guess you would say. And I feel like this, it kind of throws people off, but I'm gonna go in with a darker bronzer than I normally would for day-to-day wear, for like going out wear. This is a little too dark for me, but on camera, once I buff it out and once we have that finished product, it looks perfect. Because what you see on camera honestly looks different to me in front of the mirror. What you see as like a day-to-day look, oh, she looks nice, a little bit of glam, a little bit of this, looks very much glammy to me in my mirror and in person. So we're gonna go in with Kosas. This is a really good beginner-friendly bronzer, and it is in the shade Deep. Now, I am not a deep skin tone person, but just trust me. We are going to take a nice, smaller, fluffier brush. This is from Bling Brushes, and it is the F5. It is not a huge bronzer brush. This is just a nice, smaller, fluffy brush. I'm going to take a little bit of this Kosas bronzer. Definitely tapping off the excess, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top of my ear here. And very lightly, like you can grab the end of the brush, less than halfway into the brush, like barely, so you don't have a lot of pressure. And you're just gonna do swirls. Because like I said, this is really dark, but you're gonna see it does not take much for this to show. And remember, this is a camera ready look, so we want this to look good for the camera. Okay, we are doing this for the camera, and we are going to sharpen up our face. Just these little swirls make all the difference. And you're hitting right underneath that cheekbone and to the top of the ear. Do you see that? You see how it's a warmer color? It doesn't look orange. It looks nice, warm, and it has added a nice shape to my face. Yes, honey, girl, yes. Trust in me. I would never lead you astray. So I'm going to pick up a little more say every single time you go into this stuff, you need something that's a little too deep. So you don't have to go spend a lot of money if you're just using it for pictures. Go to Walmart, find a nice, Revlon has beautiful bronzers. Yes, ma'am, yes they do. Tap off every single time, and now I'm going to cut my jawline. And the key here is to just keep blending. Very soft strokes. And we're just going to keep it moving. Keep blending. You think you've blended enough, you probably haven't. Keep moving. Keep blending. And don't forget, you can always take practice shots before you leave the house or before you start your little photo shoot. And you can check yourself out and see what you need to fix, or if you just nailed it the first time. But you can always take practice shots, because what you see in the mirror it is going to look different on camera. Whether you are filming for YouTube or Insta stories, or you're taking those holiday photos. And let's just say you went, gosh, the difference is amazing. Sharp, precise, not so sharp and precise. But let's just say, for instance, you went a little too hard on your contour, your bronzer. Take your beauty blender. Don't even add any extra product. Just take what you've used with the foundation and just soften it up a little bit, because there is still foundation on that sponge, on that beauty blender, I promise you. So you just dab it out and it's gonna soften up for you, okay? Please do not take your bottle of product and put it on top of your skin. Don't do that. No, no. Soften it up by using that same beauty blender. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do, I am going to fix this a little bit because I got a little too low right here. And if you do that, don't worry. There's no problem. Do not panic. You can do the same beauty blender trick that I showed you previously, but I'd like to show you another way to make it a little more sharp, a little more snatched, if you will. But I do want to kind of sharpen up my nose. This is not a full nose contour. This is just to sharpen it a little bit, to give it a little more shape. Just popping a little bit of that same bronzer on the sides, but nothing too precise. And you can see it just adds shadow and depth to my nose. Anytime you do this, don't forget to, what I like to say, close it out and add a little bit of that bronzer on the tip of your nose, or you're gonna accentuate and make it look longer than it actually is, because you didn't stop the color, you didn't stop anything, you just added length and then didn't close it out, if that makes any sense at all. And if you wanted to have poutier lips for your pictures, whether they are family photos, girlfriend photos, or selfies, I'm not judging. Take you a little more bronzer, tap off the excess of course, and hit underneath your lip ever so lightly. Be sure you blend it out, and it's just going to accentuate those lips. And now to sharpen up where I went a little too low, I'm just going to take that same setting powder, the Laura Mercier. No, this isn't Laura Mercier. Oh my gosh, did I call it that earlier? This is the Hourglass setting powder. So sorry. So sorry. I'm going to take the beauty blender and dip it in. And I'm just going to start right below the contour and cut out where I went too low, where I want to kind of delete what I did. And we're gonna buff that out, so don't worry, it's not gonna stay looking like that. Okay, next thing we need to do for this base is we're gonna throw on some blush. I am dying, girl. I am dying to go in with the Dior Backstage blush again. This one is, of course, just in the shade pink. It is the most beautiful, poppiest pink I have ever seen. Let me tell you. Look at that. It's got like purple undertones in there. It is so gorgeous. This blush, I am obsessed. I cannot wait to get my hands on it again. Well, get it on my cheeks again, I guess you would say. But if we are trying to be camera ready, let's do a little more natural, a little more skin-like, because this will definitely make you just, it's very, very poppy pink. So for the camera, I feel like this from Glowish, Huda Beauty sister brand. This is the Healthy Peach Cheeky Vegan Blush. Love it. Very skin-like. Still gives you a nice sheen, a nice shine. And we're going to go right in while that powder sits and bakes on our face. So we're just going to go right in. This is beginner friendly because you can have a heavy hand with it and it doesn't mess up anything. It's not crazy pigmented, and I mean that in the best way possible. You don't have to be absolutely crazy, you know, focused to use it. I'm going in with a Bling Brush F14, and I'm just going to pop it on the center apples of my cheeks and bring it up to the side of my eye. And you can see just how well it blends in with my skin, with the contour, with the bronze, everything. It just looks so smooth and it just matches everything. I love this blush. I don't think it was given enough credit. Even by me when I first used it, I was like, I don't know. And yeah, looking at it in photos, perfect. Apples of the cheek. And bring it right on up. And now to finish off, what we're going to do is we're going to take a big fluffy brush. This one is definitely clean. Please make sure that it is clean. This is a Bling Brush F11. And I'm just going to buff where we put that setting powder. Just going to buff it out and make sure everything's blended. Like I said in the beginning, like I promised you in the beginning, no harsh lines, no flashback. Just a flawless camera ready face. It's what we're going to have. You can see that nice sheen. The blush already has a very soft skin-like glow, so you don't have to add any highlighter, of course, unless you want to, which go for it, girl. I'm sure it would look beautiful. And now look, I'm going to show you before adding my brows and eyeshadow, lip, you know, the whole rest of the shebang shaboodle. This is my skin behind the not behind, in front of the camera, looking flawless and just ready to go, ready to pose. You know those holiday pictures. For me, you know, we're gonna look flawless faking it, okay? Okay. I'm going to finish my face. Of course, we're going to set it down. Please don't forget to use your setting spray. Set it down. I don't know, some people get nervous in front of the camera, might start to, you know, get a little sweaty. Set your makeup down, okay? Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, my friends, you are now photo ready, ready to slay the camera, whether you are doing holiday pictures or pictures with your friends or whatever, selfies, love it. You are going to look flawless and beautiful. I will look at Sim Sim. He just woke up from a nap. Okay, whatevs. Cats will be cats. But you are now ready to go and look flawless. Don't worry about any flashback, any harsh lines. You look beautiful. Thank you so much for watching as always. If you are new, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe and join my beauty YouTube family. All things happy, all things positive, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.